Dahr Jamail, a lot of people say that what's going on in Iraq now is not so much the result of the U.S. invasion, but rather sectarian war between Sunnis and Shias. Could you respond to that? Do you agree?
I don't agree. I think all of this is a direct result of either direct or indirectly a result of the U.S. invasion and occupation and the strategy applied. I mean, we saw something come out just last week in a joint investigation of BBC Arabic and The Guardian, which gave hard evidence, insider evidence of the machinations of the U.S. using a retired Lieutenant Colonel James Steele, infamous during the Reagan administration of orchestrating so many of the death squads in Central America, along with Negroponte. Well, Negroponte happened to be the U.S. ambassador to Iraq for some of the occupation, and of course brought in his old buddy James Steele to set up the same types of tactics that the detentions, the types of torture techniques that we're seeing rampant across Iraq today, the blatant attempts to foment sectarian violence, sort of a divide and conquer policy. Even Rumsfeld, former Secretary of Defense Don Rumsfeld under Bush, back around 2006, 2007, referred to kind of casually using the Salvador option in Iraq, and that's precisely what he was describing. So the sectarianism fomented, where we don't have a natural sectarianism or animosities between the sects in Iraq, but it was only after the occupation began and these strategies were applied by the Bush administration that we saw the violence, the purging in the mixed neighborhoods that continues to this day, in the sectarianism and basically turning Iraqis against one another very effectively. And this is a direct result of the Bush administration policy, as well as bringing in Maliki as prime minister himself. We have to remember that when neoconservative Zalmay Khalilzad was the U.S. ambassador to Iraq, Maliki was basically the guy that the U.S. government and Iran could agree with as having as prime minister. And so there wasn't a whole lot of democracy involved in that whatsoever, I say tongue-in-cheek. He was basically appointed by Zalmay Khalilzad and agreed upon by the powers that be in Iran. And he, of course, remains prime minister to this day, despite we've had elections that clearly he has not won, yet he remains in power.